You're listening to In Clear Focus, a unique perspective on the business of advertising, produced weekly by Big Eye. Hello, I'm your host, Adrian Tennant, VP of Insights at Big Eye. An audience-focused, creative-driven, full-service advertising agency, Big Eye is based in Orlando, Florida, but serves clients across the United States and beyond. We provide audience research, strategy, branding, creative, media, and analytics services. Thank you for choosing to spend time with us today. On this week's show, we're focusing on CBD product marketing. That is, products containing cannabidiol. A chemical compound from the cannabis plant, CBD is a naturally occurring substance that's used in products like oils and edibles to impart a feeling of relaxation and calm. Unlike its cousin, THC, CBD is not psychoactive, so it won't get you high. CBD has rapidly become a phenomenon. You'll find it in tinctures and pills intended to relieve conditions such as anxiety and arthritis pain. But CBD is also highlighted as an ingredient in a growing range of consumer categories. Today, CBD is used in beauty products such as facials and lotions, in food and beverages, sport supplements, pillows, and even apparel. One New York-based fashion brand infuses CBD oil into the fibers of their sportswear fabrics. And use is not limited to humans. There are CBD products especially for pets. In a national research study Big Eye recently undertook, we found that 17% of owners already administer CBD to their pets. And 42% of pet owners who don't currently use CBD said they're open to its use in the future. Yet, in spite of this booming market, there is a lot of confusion about the legality of CBD and its relationship to cannabis. As an agency actively involved in CBD product marketing, Big Eye understands the potential issues of working with brands in this space, and the importance of keeping abreast of what product claims can and can't be made. As a CBD marketing agency bringing these issues into clear focus, it's my pleasure to welcome to this week's show one of our go-to experts. Joe Englander is a shareholder in the intellectual property practice group at Fowler, Burnett, attorneys at law. Joe leads the firm's cannabis law team, working with industry clients in the field of hemp, medical marijuana, and affiliated businesses. Joe is joining us today from the Miami office of Fowler Burnett, which also has offices in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. Welcome, Joe.
Hi, thank you very much, Adrian. I'm very happy to be here.
What are some of the most common misconceptions you think consumers have about CBD?
I think that most consumers and perhaps some lawmakers think that it's possible to get high on CBD, which it simply isn't, as you mentioned in the introduction. And I think that the regulations show that, because when you grow the hemp, the products that might be left on a field have to be destroyed. And there has to be barriers from the public, like you would think would be necessary for example, a medical marijuana facility. But I sometimes say that the hemp is as safe as tangerines.
Does the same kind of misconception hold true among retailers?
I don't think so. I think the retailers are very well educated about the products that they're selling. They want to give good products. They don't want their clients to be, or their customers to be, surprised. So they usually are very well educated. I think the consumers who come in looking for CBD know exactly that that's what they're looking for.
What are the legal status or regulations around CBD here in Florida?
There are two sets of regulations. There's the federal set and there's the state set. The federal set is the Farm Bill of 2018, which has made hemp and CBD products legal. And there's an interim regulation with the USDA, which is now in effect, which is helping states come up with plans and frameworks for regulations. In Florida, there is the Florida Hemp Act, which also makes hemp and CBD products legal, and also provides for pilot programs for the universities to test different varieties of hemp And there are new regulations which are being promulgated by the Florida Department of Agriculture, which have not yet been finalized yet, but are expected to be finalized soon.
So, Joe, how fast is the market for CBD and CBD-infused products growing?
Very rapidly. Right now, the only hemp that's growing in Florida is with the university pilot programs. So, but the interest and the businesses which are showing up to Florida showcases and seminars it grows more each year.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that pilot program?
Well, under the Florida state law, the University of Florida and other agricultural colleges are allowed to begin growing hemp to see what types of seeds are viable here in Florida. The thing about hemp is it can only have a certain low percentage of THC. So they're confirming that the seeds which they're testing are in fact hemp seeds and not marijuana seeds.
Right now, what should manufacturers include on CBD product labels to be in compliance with legal rules?
That's an interesting point there. You'll find that in the regulations with the Florida both the Florida regulations and the interim regulations, that you have to say that there is CBD on them, and the amount of CBD but you can't make any medical claims with regard to the CBD at this point. But you have to show what the percentage is and what I guess what you would say the dosage is, like what the recommended. For example, if it was whether you're supposed to take one edible or two out of a package of 50 edibles.
So, Joe, what legal services or areas of law do you focus on for your clients?
First thing I do is I get the permits and licensing for either growing or selling or manufacturing CBD or hemp products. Help work that through the system here in Florida. I help work through the laws and regulations for new businesses or businesses which already exist that want to expand into this area. Once the business is taken care of, the Department of Agriculture is going to inspect and verify the products, and they're going to test different products to make sure the amount ingested is going to be what it says on the label. If there's any issues with that, they're going to issue possibly a stop sell order or an administrative action. At that point, I think it's helpful for my clients when we can negotiate that type of thing. I've been doing that for different areas with the Department of Agriculture for years now.
You mentioned, I think, USDA testing. Is that testing conducted here in Florida, or do samples have to be sent out of state?
So right now, the Florida testing facilities are being certified by the USDA. So until the Florida system is approved by the USDA, we don't have a certified testing facility at this point yet. Once that all comes in line, we will have labs here in Florida and all over.
How would you characterize your typical clients?
Some of my clients are growers of hemp. Some of my clients are retailers of hemp products. They are online as well as in brick and mortar stores. Pet supply clients that I have retail people that sell the gummies and the oils as well as the creams.
What does the legal process look like for trademarking or official lab approval of a CBD-based product?
The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office just set out guidelines for trademark examiners to review trademarks related to CBD now that it's passed through the Farm Bill of 2018. And with those guidelines, there should be no problem with hemp-related trademarks. As for medical marijuana or marijuana-related trademarks, those will still not be approved unless and until marijuana is taken off as a Schedule I drug.
It is a little confusing, the interplay between state regulations and at the federal level. Do you see a path forward for greater clarity here?
I don't think that there's going to be clarity until there's legalization of marijuana in some way. And then it would probably be similar to the types of regulations that go on with cigarettes or perhaps liquor. As far as Florida goes, I think, like I said, there should be no limitation, no general limitation as far as CBD trademarks and protections of naming and branding, as long as the restrictions regarding age are taken care of.
So until recently, then, if we were introducing a CBD-based product, we would not actually be allowed. Previously, we'd not been allowed to trademark that name or logo. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. There were trademark applications just held by the trademark office, and they just said it was suspended, and they would simply reject it. But once these guidelines came out after the Farm Bill, these trademark applications are sailing through.
Is that also true of marijuana-based products?
It's the opposite for marijuana-based products. If something is specifically for marijuana, related to the sale or production or smoking of marijuana, then the trademark office will reject those applications for dealing with illegal products.
Right.
The trademark office has no distinction between marijuana or heroin.
Joe, are there any special considerations for CBD cosmetic marketing?
I would think of CBD cosmetics, if you were using CBD oil, to be similar to using, let's say, almond oil. And the reason I say that is it's just another oil. You cannot, you wouldn't be allowed to say that there are any medical changes that can be that occur through the use of the cosmetic, because that would make it more like a drug than the cosmetic. But at the same time, if there are any restrictions regarding the use of CBD, maybe for a state, then if you're going to sell it in the state, then you need to let them know.
So, Joe, how do your clients typically find you?
My clients come in various ways. Podcasts like this one certainly help. It's a matter of getting the words out. I go to seminars and I moderate panels around the country. Of course, I have our own website and LinkedIn and through word of mouth.
Joe, you've helped a lot of entrepreneurs develop CBD products. What advice do you have for anyone considering entering the CBD market with a new product?
Well, my advice to any entrepreneur would be to be able to differentiate your product. So for whatever way that your product is better, if it's better based upon its effectiveness, then it would be something you might want to patent. If you've got a design or a branding that's particularly effective also, then you would want to protect the trademarks and the trade dress. If you've made the formulas that are so successful to you, you'd want to make sure that whoever's working or helped develop those formulas doesn't compete against you anytime soon. So you want to have agreements to make sure that whatever they've developed belongs to you or your company. This is advice I give to any entrepreneur for that matter.
Okay. So staying with that audience of entrepreneurs with potential CBD-based products, what are some of the most common perils or pitfalls?
Right now, there seems to be an issue with getting product to the manufacturers or from the farm to the producers. So I think the short answer is you want to have a consistent supply.
Can you tell us a little about how you came to be advising clients on the laws surrounding CBD and cannabis?
I worked for the Florida Department of Agriculture for 5 years. Some of these agricultural regulations are regulations that I enforce myself. So I have a familiarity both with bringing about of the regulations and as the enforcement of the regulations and working with the department to help solve problems with the department.
What most excites you about working with CBD products or brands?
Oh, it's cutting edge. This is, as someone who's working in the law, if you're going to work on the law, why not be right where the rubber is hitting the road right now? The people are excited about it. The people who are using it are believing in it. The people who the people who are in the business of it, you can tell that it's a passion project for all of the people involved, both in who are working with it, the people who are buying it, and the people who are selling it. These conferences, you can just tell that everyone there is there because they want to be there.
Joe, finally, what does having a clear focus mean to you?
When you are looking at your business or you're looking at your career and you're looking at what you want to be doing, and you're looking forward and you have an idea and you visualize the good result that you want, and then you plan accordingly and you follow the plan and be prepared to adjust. But as long as you take the time to look in advance to where you want to be, to me, that is a clear focus for anybody.
For more information about your services, Joe, how can our listeners find you?
I'm at the law firm Fowler, White, Burnett. Our website is fowler-white.com. My bio is right there on the page. That I'm also on LinkedIn if that's easier for anybody who wants to come reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions from anybody who's listening in on the podcast. I mean, this is a passion project for me as well, so I'm happy to help.
Great. It's been a real pleasure and very enlightening, I think. Thank you. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you, Adrian. It was a real pleasure to be here.
So to recap, we learned about new regulations here in Florida and the introduction of a certification system to reassure consumers that the CBD in the products they're purchasing do come from state-approved growers. And Joe offered up some great advice for entrepreneurs. Follow the steps, choose your partners wisely to ensure regular supply of product. Thank you to our guest, Joe Englander of the Intellectual Property Practice Group at Fowler, White, Burnett. You've been listening to In Clear Focus, a unique perspective on the business of advertising produced by Big Eye. If you have questions or comments about the content of today's show, please contact us at info@bigeyeagency.com. You'll also find a transcript of today's show on our website at bigeyeagency.com. I've been your host, Adrian Tennant. Thank you for listening. Until next week, goodbye.